Wish my computer worked.
From a little cover, I got my dreams inside. Wrestling on the mat, I go and put up a fight. With every hold and slam, I rise to the peak. Now as Professor Bear, it's my strength that they see. Roaring with knowledge like a lion so proud. In this wrestling world, I'm standing out loud. I'm Professor Bear, got the passion to spare. Wrestling's my life, with the power to share. From the roots to ropes, in the spotlight we gleam. Chasing victory dreams, living out the theme. Now my WOSN, my squad.
Yeah. Hey, new beginnings on the cusp. Not too old to adjust. Old dog, new tricks. Remember, I was just a pup. Something dirty in my cup. Clean soul.
With my forest crew, we'll always ride. In the wrestling world, one just claim the prize.
Welcome, and thank you for joining me this evening. I am Professor Bear, and this is a Bear's Thoughts. And my thought for today is that everything is due in God's time. No matter what you go through, what problems you seem to have, and the journey that seems like it'll never get there, it gets there faster than you realize because God puts us where He wants us to be and needs to be. And guys, girls, I've had such a blast getting to talk to so many different promoters and learning more about promotions than I realized, and realizing how much it is on a global scale. You know, a lot of people say, oh, wrestling is worldwide, is all this, but it truly is. And today, I am talking to two gentlemen that bring more magic to the crazy world that we call wrestling. We are with Show Me State Wrestling. And I have Gordon and Jeremy. Guys, how are y'all doing today?
Not too bad here. Not too bad. Glad to be here today.
Glad to be here. Yep.
So, the question that I always ask all of my guests first off is, how did y'all become wrestling fans?
Jeremy, I'll let you go first.
Growing up, we're 80s children and 90s children. My family had a big satellite dish, so I could watch any wrestling from around the world at any time. And I can remember Thanksgiving 1987, being 5 years old and finding a live feed of Starrcade and watching them set it up, go through their mic checks and stuff. And I was hooked from then on out.
I just have to say that I'm jealous as hell because I had a cousin and they had a satellite. And I remember him going through the channels and he found a Japanese wrestling.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I was like, I wanted to watch it and he didn't, so he changed it. And I hated him for years for that.
Yeah, and I can remember growing up not having to order pay-per-views because how they blocked it out so you couldn't watch it was just a small black square, and as long as you kept hitting enter, it would go away. So you could watch it for free, basically. So I would stand there with that old remote and just hit enter every 15 seconds.
Oh my God, I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
So, Gordon, how did you start? How did you become a fan?
So mine was a little weird. I was probably early 90, 93, 94. And at the time, I didn't know what wrestling was. But my next door neighbor, I was real good friends with him. And so we went over to his house one day and we went downstairs to his brother's room and he was playing Royal Rumble on Super Nintendo, I think it was. And I was just watching this and I was like, man, I want to play this. So I ended up playing it with them. And then so I started asking questions like, what is this? Like, what is this? Is this on TV? Da, 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 da. And then I ended up finding like Monday Night Raw. So it had to be like 93, I think. And then just snowballed from there. I'd watch it. The first time I turned it on, it was an Alundra Blaze match. I forget who she was wrestling, but it was on Raw. And then it just snowballed from there. And then I started doing more and more research. And so I started going back and looking at stuff from all the 80s and then the 70s. And then I found the Japanese wrestling. And then I found Lucha Libre, and it just snowballed everywhere where you just kept on looking for it. Back when you could just get on the internet and look it up on YouTube, you had to join a tape collectors.
Mm-hmm.
You had to trade tapes and mail each other VHSs and hope that they send it to you, and hopefully the VHS played. And it wasn't clear, but you still got to watch it. And so that's how mine started. It was just a fluke. I just stumbled across it by accident one day.
Mm-hmm.
It is so funny to me that I'll say 95% of people I talk to has very similar ways of getting into wrestling and becoming fans. And when you think you know it all, bam, it's a different story, and it's so amazing how a chance encounter can change your life.
Yeah, it was just a video game when I first saw it, and so then it just snowballed. I had to see more. I had to see more. I had to see more, and it was just so much out there. And then once the internet came and you could start trading tapes, oh man, that opened up a whole new world.
So how did y'all go from just being wrestling fans to being in the wrestling business?
You want to tell it or you want me to?
Well, I'll start off. So it was in
Okay.
middle school. It was in middle school. We went to a show. I think it was
Central States.
Yeah, Central States here in Jeff City at the Armory. That was my first ever live event. And then after that, it was like we were 16 and we could start driving ourselves. And then our first show that I remember was in Mexico, Missouri at a Mexico, Missouri Armory. And then that's the first like memory I seen from an independent show. My first ever time seeing a name live was at Harley Race's company here in Missouri. That was a trip where we pull up and there's Harley Race out back smoking a cigarette, and we had to make him feel weird. There's just three guys staring at a car, just staring at Harley Race while he's smoking. You know, it's like, oh my God, he's standing right there. Like, you know, like that's Harley freaking Race. You know, and it was just an amazing time. And just I hate using the word marking out, but it's just what we did. It's like he's just standing right there. But of course, you couldn't go up to him because he was this legend in your head. And how do you coach that? I mean,
Right.
we did, but right then and there we did.
Yeah, later on we were okay, but right then and there we were scared out of our minds. So,
And then so from there, you know, from Mexico, we actually did some training with MRW there, Midwest Renegade Wrestling, I think it was called, with a gentleman named Big Ben. Nice guy. He was super nice to us to let us in there and do some things, and started training a little bit, and then moved over to Harley and did a little bit with Harley, and then family kind of got in the way with stuff and just issues, and kind of took a break for a little bit and then came back to it again.
Again, it is so funny when we find wrestling and we get into it, and want to make that next step to actually trying to be in the business, but then life happens.
Yeah.
And it's always that, okay, I'm gonna do this. This is my thing. But in the back of your mind, it's like, man, go for it. You could do it. You could do it. You could do it.
And in fairness, our family supported us on this journey. I mean, they never told us no. They let us take long trips at 15, 16 years old. You know, they trusted us. So they're like, just go see what you can do. And over time, like Gordon said, family gets in the way, things happen. We kind of got away from going to shows, helping out, trying to train, and eventually came back to it. But we've always had support of our families and stuff. So it's a strange business to be in love in, especially if people around you don't understand it. But like I said, we've always had the support we needed to do what we needed to do.
Yeah, it makes everything so much easier.
Mhm.
So, y'all were doing your thing. Y'all family came up, life came up, but then what got you back into it?
Uh, my brother and me decided to start a little wrestling company. It didn't last long because, as brothers do, they argue and fight, and it just became a hassle. So that lit the fire back for me. I don't know, and Gordon was involved, of course. No, best friends forever, so we're family. So if anything like this comes along, we're all included, no matter what.
So
So
there was
go
three of
ahead.
us, or four of us. So your brother, me, you, and another gentleman named Chris Wyatt. And so the four of us, we always did everything together at one point. Like if you had one there, you had the other three of them there. It was a
Yeah,
group package. You didn't got it was a buy one get three free.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, whether you wanted all of it or not, you were getting a whole plate, appetizers, dessert, and all.
So when that fell through, and then another friend, Scott, who was a referee for Harley, decided to do his own thing with Chris. So again, it's a package deal. We ended up with them and helped out, and it just became a situation of, Scott's doing well and stuff, and we're being really helpful, and we could kind of do this on our own. Don't you agree, Gordon?
Yeah, and so it's something that you think that it's a lot of stuff. Like, ain't no way you're going to be able to do it. But when you actually break it down and start taking piece by piece by piece
Mm-hmm.
and knocking piece by piece by piece down, you're able to start putting it together and like, oh man, it's actually coming together. So
Yeah.
it's kind of cool to see that process. Nerve wracking. I mean, we still get nervous. We've been around this since
95, 96. Yeah.
and we got a show coming up March 21st. I'm still nervous thinking about it now. It's just always nerves there.
Well, you're going to be nervous when it's your money. So, but
So, so I have to ask this question. If I was coming to y'all and I'm like, hey, I want to start a promotion, what advice would you give me?
don't do it alone. And,
Yeah.
and if you have a best friend that you trust with your bank account, like you can hand your debit card to that person and he's only going to do what he needs to do, that's who you start it with.
And so that's what kind of we know we're not going to do anything dumb on that front. Like everything is just it's straightforward, open communication on everything. Now, there's days we bicker. There's plenty of days that we bicker about it.
Yes,
But there's
sir.
enough history there that we know we can turn it back around and turn it into a positive.
Mhm.
The best advice I would say is don't overextend yourself. Like you're gonna get pulled by so many different people telling you how you should do this, how you should do that, how you should do this. It's good advice, but you don't have to do it that way. That's the
Yeah.
one thing that we try to do is that we like to try. We got the core, we got what we want to do, but it's been done for so long a certain way. You do this, do this, do this, do this, that we like to try to change it a little bit. Like our big thing is like we like to start our shows at 6 o'clock now instead of 7 o'clock. Everybody does 7 o'clock, but we start ours at 6 because my wife was the one who said something like, time I get the kids home, it's too late and I don't want to bring them. And so we started at 6 o'clock now. So that way they can get home 8:30, 9 o'clock, or 8:30 our shows usually end. So they get home by 9 o'clock, they can get a snack and get to bed okay. Because we want the kids there. Adults watch it, kids get invested in it. And so they're the ones that we want there to make the noise.
Yeah.
So I guess I got sidetracked. So I guess my big advice is just stay true to what you want.
And
You're have an opinion about it. And like Jeremy said, they're going to have an opinion how to spend your money, but it's your money. So as long as you keep everything up and safe, it's going to work out. It's going to be fine.
And if you have a philosophy on how wrestling should go in your mind, stay with it. Because we, all three of us, can disagree on how wrestling should go and where you should go with things. But if you have a philosophy and you have a plan, you can tweak it as long as you end up where you want to go. Because there's going to be 100 people telling you you're wrong, you're this, you're that. And your idea is not always going to be the best idea. But, you know, you got to have people around you that can help you tweak it and make it where it needs to go. As long as you end up where you want to go, it doesn't matter the ride.
And keep an open mind. You know, it's your idea may need tweaks. You know, you may think you might have the best idea, but then you listen to somebody else, you know, and like they can add a little more seasoning to it to make it taste better. It's like, okay, let's do that. You know, let's do this. And so,
and it's okay to fail too on an idea. We've had things that we thought were going to be just magical, and then when it happened, it's like, oh, that's like, you know, bad. You know,
we kind of burnt out. That wouldn't come out tasting right.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's going to have an opinion, no matter what it is. The bottom line of it is, bluntly, it's your money, it's your time, and everyone just know that most people have your best interest at heart. Some people have other interests in mind. Just always keep close vested on your stuff. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Don't let everybody have a say so, because then you get pulled a million ways, like Gordon said. And then before you know it, you don't know where you are.
Very true. Now, the reason I started laughing when you said you started off is because I had Bull Buchanan on the show a few days ago, and I asked him the same thing, and he just straight up said, "You don't do it. It's a pain in the ass."
I thought about saying don't do it, but I was like, that probably seems like the generic answer.
Then he turned around and said, "Well, if you got a bunch of money you just want to throw away, you know, perfect place to do it."
It's the greatest thing in the world when it's going okay, but it's also the drizzling, you know what, when it's not going well.
Yeah.
And, you know, then you worry about, you know, where's the money coming from? Where's that? Luckily, me and Gordon were okay money-wise with it. You know, it's not self-sufficient yet, but it's getting there. And no one's going broke, and we're selling tickets, so we're okay. But yeah, when the highs are really high and them lows can be, that's a long drive home when you go 3 hours and only sell 30 tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely can relate to that. So, explain to me what Show Me State Wrestling is, as far as the wrestling style.
So I think Jeremy and I kind of agree on that. We like the old school feeling. We like the storytelling. We like when you come in, you know who the bad guy is, you know who the good guy is. We like to throw a lot of wrestling into it, peppered in with some more exciting things, I guess. And so it's I don't know. Jeremy, how would you say it?
For over 100 years, wrestling was based on the fan booing the bad guy, cheering the good guy, buying a ticket to see the bad guy get beat up. That worked for thousands of towns, and thousands of people have made a living. The last 20, 25 years, things have changed, which, okay, it changed. But at the end of the day, you still want to go somewhere and believe for a moment that guy's getting what's coming to him, like going to a movie. So at the end of the day, yeah, we believe in good guy, bad guy. Let the fans basically figure out the heat themselves and make a decision to buy the ticket. If you put good talent in the ring, they're gonna perform. They're gonna do what needs to be done.
Yeah.
So my thought of it is, and Gordon's too is, if we give them good storylines and we put good talent in there, the wrestling speaks for itself. You can have Gaga once in a while. Gaga's fun, funny's fun sometimes. But I'm not a believer in people are buying tickets to watch 20-minute promos. I'm just not a believer in that. That's why at our shows, most of the time we will have a stick man holding the mic, and they got a cue. They got a minute and a half, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and if they're still going, cut them off. We want we. I'm also a believer in you don't need to do 30-minute matches, but you need to give them good, solid wrestling entertainment because that's what they're buying.
Yeah.
Because me and Gordon can go out there and cut a promo. That ain't nobody gonna buy a ticket, but we can entertain them for 2 hours someplace. You want the reason why there's a wrestling ring in the middle of the building is because people want to see wrestling.
Yeah.
So
I I I love where promotions are story driven, where you're telling story and making the crowd like, oh wow, after the main event, man, I can't wait to the other show so I can see what's happening if they're gonna do this or that, and the pop of a crowd too. I,
yes,
I tell people this all the time, and I truly don't believe that they understand until it happens to them. When you can go to a show and close your eyes and just listen, and while you're listening, you can't tell where you're at. If you're around and you hear that crowd and you think you're in a 20,000 seat arena, you know the show is good. You
right.
know you have captured the audience for the way you want them and need them.
Mm-hmm. And details matter. I say that all the time. Details matter. When we get suggestions or someone that watches a show and be like, "Well, put so and so in the ring together." Okay, we do that. Then what do we do? You know, so it's just details matter, and like you said, you can close your eyes, envision it, all that. All that good stuff.
Yeah.
And today's pro wrestling in general, all around, it's a little too predictable sometimes. But it's a double-edged sword because when you don't go with what people think they're going to do, then you get the internet people all upset. And sometimes, I think Gordon will agree, we'll watch WWE or whatever, and we get a little irritated with it. And I'm sitting there thinking, we just need to be a fan. Don't look at it.
It's hard to turn it off.
Yeah,
It is.
It's hard, and it's so, I guess, cliche to say and stupid to say, but when, like I do, like with your job, like say I got a therapist and whatnot, physical therapy, so I constantly at the store watch people with their gates and their mechanics like that, and I nitpick
Not
it.
lying about that.
And it's hard to do that like wrestling. It's hard just to watch it without nitpicking it, and it's hard. And I want to go back, and and there's times where you can turn it off, but it's hard, and you just to watch it. You got to watch it with again like younger kids, and they really get into it, and that's when you can turn it off. So you just sit by yourself watching it, it's like, oh man, I wouldn't have done that, or why are they doing it? You start critiquing it, and it's not as fun, and so it's hard to be able to turn it off.
And in fairness, my children are older and they won't watch it with me because I gripe about it so much when I'm watching it. They say I take the fun out of it. So, but I mean, it's difficult, but just sometimes you just watch it be a fan. As I'm saying that, it's hard for me to do that as well. But
well, and I was going to make the point. I'm not, and it's weird because I'm in that gray area. Yes, I'm in the business, but I'm not really in the business. But like me and my co-host for another show, we were talking about this, and it's like we can't help it. It's just built in us to look at wrestling differently than the average fan because something could catch our attention like, oh, damn, that was good. That was super. And see where everybody versus, like you said, just sitting there like, oh, yes, a drop kick. All right. It's those little things that will bother you to death.
Right.
And so I guess kind of to build off of that, like it's hard to turn off, but like when we're at a show and it's one of our shows and we have this big idea coming off, and to hear the crowd when it comes off perfectly and the crowd buys into it. Like there's been plenty of times where I've been off the side and where I'm fist pumping, where I'm so excited because, oh my God, that worked out so well and everyone loved it. And you get that excitement back. It's like, oh, I love this. And then, like you said, sometimes you're like, oh man, why did we do that?
Yeah. And we'll look at each other and just shake our heads.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, you booked it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, with that being said, have y'all ever had y'all already said that y'all have disagreements. Everybody do. But have you ever had the disagreement where something that both of y'all were opposite on angle, and y'all made a decision and was going to go with, let's say we're going with Gordon's idea, and it didn't turn out the way Gordon thought. Have you, Jeremy, just like, see, I tried to tell you?
Well, in fairness, in our real life, we've been friends for over 30 years. We talk a lot of nonsense to each other to start with. So I would probably, and he would too, we would tell each other beforehand, we're going to do it. It's not going to work. You know?
And we've done that. We're like, okay, let's do it. And I'm trying to think, there was something recently where Jeremy was so against it, and it's like, it's not going to work. It's not going to turn out well. And it turned out pretty well. And I'm like, it turned out well. And then
I admitted it though, didn't I?
Huh?
I admitted to it. I said that.
Yeah, like I said, and like I said, it was something. I can't remember what it was, but it was something where like it's not going to work, and the crowd ended up loving it. And yeah, that happens. But again, we're not going to bear down and like, okay, if we're going to do it, let's just do it. Let's make it the best we possibly can. We're not going to try to sabotage it because again, it's affecting us.
And we know each other well enough. If he's willing to die on that hill, I'm not give up. But it's like, okay, let's just do it then. Let's just see. Because we don't really argue. So if he's standing his ground, he wants to do it, and vice versa. So we just, to not have the argument, let's just do it. But we will tell each other it ain't going to work.
Yeah.
And then if it does, we can admit to it.
I talked to some other promoters, and they were telling me that one thing that they really is a blessing for them is they're a team. They don't have to do it on their own, because one gentleman was saying, you can't. You're gonna implode at some point because you have so much going on, and trying to handle it yourself, you won't be able to. You have to have a great team surrounding you all to help get the vision where y'all see it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so yeah, we all had like, well, it's just us two are the main office. Like everything.
We have great production people day of the show, but everything else stays between me and Gordon. Go ahead, Gordon. I'm sorry.
We switch it all out, and we both just kind of tag team certain things. Like I do a lot of like the posting and stuff like that, but he's the one who's writing the stuff, and vice versa. Send it to me, I touch it up somewhere, and I'll send it back. Like it's a whole back and forth thing. It's not one person doesn't post anything without the other one usually knowing, unless it's something ridiculous. Like it doesn't matter what it is.
Right. And sponsor wise, we do that together. We'll go to the town together and try to do that. We do follow-up calls. I'll take some, he'll take some. Reaching out to talent, it's always in a group text.
No one talks with talent usually. Now, there's some rare instances where, like, just some reason the messenger or text messages won't let the other person in, and then so we'll get it started, but then turn it back into a group message.
Well, it's just like the other night, somebody called to check up on something. They called Gordon, and as soon as Gordon talked to him, he called me. So it's very open book. number one, so we don't forget what happened, and then the day of the show, one of us has to go, oh yeah, by the way, we talked to so and so, or it'd be nice to know, you know. So we just, whenever something goes down, we automatically tell each other.
Yeah.
That's a great method to have.
Mhm.
Um, when it comes to the the booking of the shows, do y'all book, like, how far ahead do you book something?
We try to book several things out for the year, and then hopefully 30% of that happens based on people who can and can't come. Like right now, technically, when you say Gordon, our shows are booked out.
Yeah, we like to book it out so that way we can adjust as opposed to making up new. It's much easier to adjust and pivot as it is to make up a whole new show. So like one person cancels, well, let's do this because we did this earlier, and we can adjust here, put this person here, and then actually this will feed into that. And so we like to have it all planned out and then work backwards, like Jeremy likes to say, start with the finish, fill in
And
the
work backward.
yeah,
And
and that way we can adjust as opposed to doing it on the fly. We hate doing it on the fly because so many things can go wrong and mess everything up.
and
Right.
we actually have notes already written out because we've got some guys that are getting very busy, and if bigger opportunities come along, you know, so we actually have notes written up what to do in case this person can't come.
Yeah.
So we're ahead of, you know, if you know so and so has to call off or whatever because he gets a better opportunity or whatever. All right, we've already got something planned and ready to go.
And we like to plant seeds throughout other shows to help so that way it makes sense. We can come back. Okay, they can't do this show, but they can do this show. He canceled here, but we talked about that here, so let's bring it here. And so it can get confusing, but we have it all written out. And so it helps to
Yeah.
have it. I'm a visual. I have to see it written out. I have to see it, the matches. I have to see what we have, and then it makes sense for me. I have to see our plans.
Mhm.
Jeremy, I think he can do it with his head. I have to see it.
Yeah.
And that's why everything's written down too.
Because everything gets written down. There's pages. I have like 5 pages of notes in my wallet that are the same pages and notes that are at the office at work because we work in the same building, so we take a lunch break, and we actually book over lunch. So there's people that walk up to us and said it last week. Do you guys talk about anything other than wrestling? And we had to think about it.
I don't know. I've known him long enough. I don't need to know anything else about him.
Yeah, my kids are good. His kids are good. That's all we need to know.
So when you were talking about writing things out, it made me think of my childhood. Um, I've been a big wrestling fan since I can remember. And my father, he was a big wrestling fan. So it was easy to talk him into getting me wrestling stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to, he got me a AWA wrestling ring. And,
You still got
and
it?
Say again?
Do you still have it?
Sadly, no.
Oh, okay.
But I was, and I'll tell you this in a minute, but so as a kid, I was like, man, I love wrestling so much. I want my own, I want to be a booker. Now, I didn't call it booking because I didn't know, but I literally did it. I took all my action figures and I started a tournament. And to make sure that I was not being unfair to the wrestlers. Now, this how deep I was so into it because I was like, oh man, I really want Superman to go over than Batman. And so what I did, all my matches got decided by a coin flip. And wherever it went, that's how I went with the story. And what with their long talking point, I still have my notes from wrestling as a kid.
That's all.
And
Yeah.
I look at it from time to time and just laugh at myself and like, boy, I was really into this. If I could have got with a wrestler, man, who knows where I would have been in wrestling.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's neat.
that's awesome. And it's like it reminds me of like writing that out. It reminded me back again in the early '90s. Remember e-feds where you would send things in and try to you would write the promo for the guy and then put it up there. Like I used to love some e-feds. These were fun. But I think
Yeah,
that's what kind of set the seed too of like, man, I want to do this, but in live and living color. You know, I want to be able to put this in live format and entertain people and not just ourselves here in this e-fed.
you remember Diamond Dallas Dunlap that we had?
Diamond House Parker.
Parker, yes.
Yeah. That was a guy, yeah, we won a championship off of him. And then I remember in one e-fed, I broke into your email,
Yes.
started going off on the guy who ran it.
And he killed me.
And then he killed you off, literally killed you in the e-fed.
He killed me. Yeah.
Oh, so fun. And our other our friend Chris White at the time just thought it was hilarious. Good time.
Yeah. I don't know what I did.
Oh, you said a lot of bad things to him.
Apparently. and
Password.
And somewhere along the way, I offended Dory Funk Jr.'s wife, Marty, because she cursed me out in an email, and I don't remember talking to her.
Oh, wow.
Was that you, Gordon?
That was not me.
Yeah, I got an email out of the blue from Marty Funk, and I don't even know this lady. So,
do you know I would be trying to figure out who did that? I would hunt till I probably wouldn't sleep, eat until I caught that person to whoop their ass.
I'm sure there's a lot of things on there that couldn't be said that we probably should take credit for, but don't even remember anymore.
Oh yeah, and the stuff we do remember, it's R-rated. We can't.
We got
some real road stories. I'm telling you that we got some real road stories.
So going back to my AWA ring, and here's another funny part, and it's funny how life is and where it takes you. So like I said, big AW, my dad got me the ring, and I can't remember what wrestlers I got with him, but come a time I lost them, I just had my action figure. So later on in life, when I was 18, just graduated high school, my mom was like, okay, I'm gonna give you the summer to enjoy yourself, but you got to have a job by the fall.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, being a kid, I could get one anytime, blah, blah, blah. Well, come fall, I didn't have a job. My mom was like, you got 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
You get a job or you getting out. And it's like, oh, shit. Now, it came quickly real. My buddy was working at Toys R Us, and he's like, hey, I can get you on. He said, now you got to do everything. You're not gonna use my name and screw me over.
Right.
So got the interview. I worked at Toys R Us. I worked for Toys R Us for probably almost 15, 20 years. And during that time, I'm still a wrestling mark. Mm-hmm. You talking about having everything that came through there, the WCW figures, the WWF, the ECW. Matter of fact, I just recently found my ECW figures in my garage, and I just sold them, most of them.
Did they
didn't want to? Didn't want to, but
did the plastic casing on those turn yellow on you?
Yes.
I found some of mine the other day, like a bunch of them that I had. So it was like, but they're all yellow.
Yep. I think only one out of the whole group didn't turn yellow.
Yeah, all mine, I think, are. I didn't have as many. I had, the top ones. But man, I was disappointed the other day when I dug them out. I was like, they're yellow.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like I said, it's amazing where you think it's funny, but then you really sit back and look at it, and you look at your journey. It's like, holy crap!
Yeah.
We
So,
were. Go ahead.
no, no, you go.
I was going to say, me and Gordon were talking the other day about a storage shed that we used to have that our buddy that passed away was taking care of. The stuff we lost out of that storage shed because whatever happened, and we weren't told the bill wasn't getting paid. We lost. I mean, if it was pro wrestling, we had it,
So
and
much.
it's gone now.
Nobody enjoys that collection now.
So what? Another thing, because you all know, the internet wasn't big for us.
Mm-mm.
So to get wrestling news, it was the magazines.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I had these were the top magazines: Pro Wrestling Illustrated, Inside Wrestling, and The Wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
From 1988 to probably, I want to say I went to about 2002, maybe 2003. I have all those magazines. All of them are still in great condition, and I look at them and think to myself, wow, this was when wrestling was wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
You
Oh God, to go
you
back.
couldn't find out stuff. If you wanted to find out, you had to have that magazine.
Yeah, yeah. I miss magazines like that. And that's the part. I guess you're trying to like be a fan again. Like I miss getting those and like just flipping through and seeing the rankings at the back, or and or seeing like the VHS that stuff that those the ring side or somebody was selling. It's like, oh, I need to buy that $40 tape.
Yes,
And for me, I used to love looking at the pictures and looking at the crowd because I've always been interested in what people drew crowd wise. So I always looked at the crowd to see if I could see empty seats. It's just always been something since I was little, Be watching WCW or even WWE, and I'd be watching TV, be like, "Ooh, they got a lot of empty seats." So, yeah, I don't. That's a core memory.
and it's funny you say that. When I went to my first AEW show, this was when they really hit a bad mark where they couldn't give out giveaway tickets, where they had to cut. Everybody had to be on the TV side, and the
Mm-hmm.
other side empty. And I thought to myself, I was like, man, this is bad. And then when I saw it on TV, I'm like, damn, they did a great job. Before you would never know how empty this place is.
Well, I used to get mad. Like, me and Gordon was talking about this a couple weeks ago. We were talking about Halloween Havoc 1990. How WCW sold that building out, 10,000 seats, but they turned the lights off. They're in a battle with the WWF at the time, and they sold 10,000 tickets, and they didn't show off their crowd. It's just, to me, show it off. Show them, hey, we can compete. We're big time too.
Right.
So,
So another question that I try to remember to ask: what is the name of your top title?
Oh, it's we didn't do world. So what we did was Show Me State Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. We didn't want to do world. This again,
we're
that's
in
just
Missouri.
in ourselves. What's that?
We're in Missouri.
And that's why we didn't want to nitpick it, and so that's why we did the Show Me State Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah.
My pet peeve. It bothers me to my core when you call your title a world title and you don't leave your damn country. I mean the county. Don't no.
That's why.
How dare you?
That's why we wanted to make sure, like when you think of the world title, when I think of world title, I think of the NWA World's title,
Yeah.
and that's when I think of a world title. It travels everywhere, and that's like we're Show Me State, we're Missouri, so we are the Show Me State Heavyweight Champion.
But you can't say Missouri State champion because
There is another title out there
there's
called.
another title called that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Uh, and that's a good point that you brought up that I hadn't really thought too much about. Did y'all have to? Did you research names before y'all picked the name of your company?
We played with some names, but then we went back to when Jeremy and his brother started Show Me State Wrestling, and so we actually were in the process of trying to buy that, but people can be stubborn, and he didn't want to come up off of it. So I was like, you know what? We're just going to throw state in there. So we took Show Me State Wrestling. Uh, and so that's why we wanted to, again, it was for Missouri. We wanted to show off Missouri. We didn't want to do a different name like, Extreme or something like that. We're Missouri, and we want to be proud of Missouri. Plus, it kind of plays in my thought process, and I don't know if I ever talked to Jeremy about it, is that anytime someone looks up Show Me State, that our company is going to be attached to that. Even if they're not a wrestling fan, someone puts in Show Me State, Missouri, our stuff is going to pop up in there too. And so it was all part of that, looking at that too, like just popping something else off to help people get eyes on us.
And again, that's the mark of being a good booker. You have to think ahead. You have to be able to sell yourself and your company in ways that most people don't think about.
And that's
Um,
why you hardly will ever see. It happens sometimes, but you hardly ever see or hear us say the initials of the company, SSW. We make it a point to say "Show Me State Wrestling."
Or if it's in the same post, I will make sure Show Me State is written out in there. And then sometimes I got to abbreviate SSW, but I make sure it's at least in there once. So that way, when that's get tagged somewhere, it's in there.
Yeah.
and again, smart marketing.
Hmm.
And to be honest with y'all, I love the name. The name. The first time I saw it, immediately I was intrigued. I had to see what y'all were all about.
Yeah.
And again, smart marketing, and you're doing good things. Besides the heavyweight championship, what other titles do y'all have in your promotion?
So we also, again, trying to keep it with Missouri. The other one is the Frontier Championship, and that's like our intercontinental belt. That's our secondary belt. And then the other one, we just had the tag team champions, the SSW, and that one we did do SSW tag team champions. And
We're not.
we're just going to try to keep it on those
Yes.
three right now because
Yeah. Yeah. It's a 6-7 match show, and we believe titles are important. So if every match has a championship on the line, then nothing means nothing. So we try to keep,
and we like to try to make sure that, like Jeremy said, they mean something. So that way, if let's say our heavyweight champion can't be there, our frontier champion, is just as important because we built it up that way, and we have such great talent on our whole card that it's going to still feel as important, And so we want everything to feel important. Or if both big ones are gone, like the both singles, those tag teams, they're going to close that show because they are the champions. They are the main people, And so we don't want to hold. And there's other flaws. Some people love having several different belts. We just don't, and that's okay. And everyone's entitled to their own opinion. And so we just don't. And that's just us. We're old school like that, I guess.
What about working with other companies? Where do y'all stand on that?
Again, different philosophies. Jeremy's more, he's very reserved about it. I am more open to it. And sometimes we got to talk to each other to kind of work it out here. Jeremy is, I'm sure you'll say that, he's more, what's it going to do for me or us? How's it going to help us out more? Because again, it's all about us.
If
our own mind.
We partnered with another company and it went okay. There's some kinks to that, not beyond doing it again, But at the end of the day, is the work going to be 50-50? Is the promotion going to be 50-50? You know, if I'm a real believer in, if we're going to go in to do this together and sell some tickets, we need to all be putting the same effort in.
Yeah, and that's what it got to be. But if we do it again with another company, it's got to be 50-50. Like everyone's got to pull their own weight, and that's the biggest thing.
And
then the other company we did, they did fine. It was good, no issue. It's just we're greedy, want to keep it for ourselves.
yeah.
Well, and I'd look at it two different ways. Yes, you have to protect yourself. You got to protect your interests. But I think that being able to team up with other companies, not only is that giving more eyes on your company to new viewers, but it, like you said, if y'all working 50-50, everybody wins. And that should be the goal of working with people.
The biggest issue is, you're right there. I totally agree with you. The bigger issue is there's a lot of companies in Missouri, and a lot of the region's not heavily populated. So if we reach out, or someone reaches out to us, and they're up in, I don't know, let's say they're in Springfield, we can't run Springfield because they already have it. So it's a benefit in the sense that we can pop a house maybe for that one show, and
Right.
maybe some of our stuff ends up on their YouTube and vice versa. But we're not going to be able to run that town because there's just certain things you shouldn't do. You shouldn't run somebody else's town.
And,
So the benefits there, but it's also like, why not just run the show, keep it all in house, and because we're not running Springfield or wherever, just Springfield.
right.
So
And I definitely understand that, and I believe you are right. But I always look at it like this too. Again, I why I understand it so well, because that's what I was brought up on when the indie promotions were. And hell, I've seen it recently in Kentucky where one company lost their shit. I thought they were about to break into a fight over a company coming in and running the show in their area without talking to them or anything. And I'm like, man, whoa, calm down. At least let me get home before y'all get to fighting.
And that's the big thing about territory. Like, you don't run another person's backyard. Now, town over, I think it's okay. But, like, we run Jeff City. I think we would be annoyed. We definitely would be annoyed if someone ran Jeff City, because this is our area, you know?
And then we would have to retaliate, basically, bluntly. That's how I look at it. If they run our town, we're going to have to run their town.
Yeah.
And we don't want to do that. We don't want to fight nobody. There's enough space for everybody.
Yeah,
right.
There's plenty of people out there.
And we've been there. We've been at shows 20 years ago, 25 years ago, where other companies were mad because that company was in there. And we were asked by Harley Race himself, if they show up, are you guys in? Well, yeah, we're in. We'll do whatever we need to do.
Harley will protect you. Knowing that he's going to carry us on his back to get us out of it.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's just, it's a very territorial business. And everybody, including us, always has an eye out for the other company. But there's enough space and time for everybody. And we can all be friends. But that doesn't necessarily mean we got to kumbaya it and hold shows together and all that stuff. You know, we can support each other other ways, you know, and just be respectful to everybody's time and place.
And again, I don't think anything is wrong with that. And I made this comment to someone, had a small disagreement, and the people, instead of come and talk, they thought it was a great idea to go blast us on social media. And I call him my boss, but we're equal partners. But he stepped in to talk to the person, and he's like, "Well, did you talk to him? Did you talk to Bear?" They were like, "No," and he was like, "Well, that's where you screwed up.
Mhm.
If you would have sat down, sent the message, he would have explained, and y'all could have worked it out without this."
Right.
And that's the biggest thing I've learned doing this is respect. I respect you. I want respect back.
Yeah,
That is simple as that.
and that's all. And an open communication. You have an issue, and we always tell everybody like, if you have an issue, call us, text us, and like we're not going to hide, and we'll
Yeah.
explain why we did this, and no hard feelings. I mean, it's just it is what it is. Like everyone has their own opinions, but but we just need to all be able to disagree and still get along. Like there's no reason to go out there and bash them or anything like that. And it's just all right, we're done. And that's okay.
I mean,
Is that
there's enough space for everybody.
Yeah.
and and talking to the wrestling promotion in Africa, he made this real great point that he's like I don't know American wrestling. He said, but man, you throw a rock, you hit the promotion. You throw a rock another way, you hit the promotion. He said y'all almost oversaturated with wrestling. He said here, man, we got like possibly five in the area, and you have to drive 6-7 hours to get to them. So I was like, wow. I was like,
Somebody
y'all.
we need to get a work visa going then, Jeremy.
Yeah, we need to go over it.
Wide open over
Yeah.
Yes, and one thing I told them too. Again, I'm a person that really is about peace and working together and making the mutual benefits. And I understand people can't afford trips across the country. I mean, across the world and stuff. But man, use what's in front of you. Have a Zoom training session where
Mhm.
they can talk about how they do things. You all can talk about how y'all do things. Maybe y'all have certain wrestlers like, okay, we're going to send you two wrestlers. They're coming over. You send us two. We can cross promote that way. There's so many different ways, and we're blessed to be in wrestling in this time and age. You can do stuff without having to go in debt per se.
Hmm.
there. Yeah. I agree.
It's a blessing and a curse of cable television. Because before cable, everybody had their own little fiefdom, and everybody was happy. Cable television exposed pro wrestling for what it is today, and I don't know if we're better for it or not.
I,
But I mean, there's a lot more money. God bless, they're making a lot more money, but they're
right.
not getting as much work as they used to get. There's a lot less people doing it.
And that is true. But what I would argue is yes, there's a lot less people doing it, but these guys and girls are making more money than they ever would. They are being a hell of a lot more safer and doing things at a better rate. And you, I have the ability. Let's say if I was a wrestler, and I'm gonna tell you my mind state of it. If I was a wrestler, and let's say I work for y'all, I would promote y'all and promote myself. This is where I want. This is where I'm at. Now, if I got a chance to go somewhere else, y'all like, hey, that's fine, good. I'm gonna promote them and myself and you. I'm gonna promote myself as a business among businesses, and a lot of wrestlers that I've gotten to talk to, and actually they wanted my opinion, which is crazy to me, but it's like make your business the best business. You want people to see you to wonder, hey, I want you, I want you, I want your business to help my business. You have to have that mentality and promote yourself. It takes no. Everybody got a smart damn phone.
Hmm.
You're gonna tell me you can't sit there and cut a promo and make people interested? When you make people interested, that helps you draw money. You draw
Right.
money, more promoters want you. More promoters want you, then the bigger promotions are gonna look at it. What's this buzz about? It is a you have to have that mind state, at least in my thinking.
It's an attraction business, being attraction.
Yeah, you got to make, and that's something that some young kids are really good with, and then some kids still need to learn that. Like, promote everything. Don't just promote yourself, I guess. Like, if that show, like, go ahead and throw the big poster up. Don't just show your post. Tell the big show too, and like help each other. Like, the more you get interested in this, the more it's going to be here, and the more you're going to keep drawing attention to everything. And so that's how the young kids, like, some of them are doing great of it. Some of it just got to learn a little bit more. Like, hey, we're just helping each other out here. Like, we will put you everywhere if you just take the time and do it too.
And the biggest thing we tell the guys is, if you help us grow this and we become successful, then you have a place to work for the next 20 years. And because in wrestling, miles and money. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, if we become successful, money goes up. Promote us, help us get to where we need to be, so you guys have guaranteed work. And
That's so
but wrestling companies, some of them, honestly, there's a few out there, not, I mean, a dime a dozen, just throwing shows up and guys can get work. But I mean, at the end of the day, the stable companies is where you want to be at. The ones you're safe, you can trust the booker or you can trust the owners, and they're drawing a crowd.
yep, that's so true. So, gentlemen, I want to thank you for not only coming on the show, not only running Show Me State Wrestling, but thank you for being being fans of the product. I'm a big firm believer in giving people flowers,
Mhm.
and I am so thrilled and happy that y'all are succeeding and giving the wrestling company another outlet. I'm a real firm believer again in giving thanks, because most time when people are doing something, they never hear thank you or we appreciate you until after you're dead and gone. And I love to give people that flowers so they can enjoy them. They understand they're doing well even if they don't see it. And again, y'all are keeping the sport we all love alive. And the quote I love to use is, leave wrestling better than you found it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for inviting us
Yeah.
on and having us over here. It was fun, and it was our first podcast, I think, and so it was really cool to kind of be a part of it. And it went so well. Like, maybe we'll have to do another one sometime down the line.
Yeah, because like we said, we don't like putting ourselves on TV or anything. So
Yeah,
Eh, eh, Y'all have an open invitation. And like I told y'all, I man, this is old. We're new old friends that are having a chat about things, and it's great. Plus, I love giving history lessons and giving knowledge out there for wrestling fans who don't know. And I think especially promotions, we as fans we see everything, we can get any information, but understanding what y'all go through as promoters, how much you really care for the business, I think more fans need to see that and have appreciation. And it's an amazing thing. Like, sometimes I get really blown away if I go somewhere and people recognize me. It blows me away. When I found out that people across this from from UK knew my pod show and watched it, that's like wow. I it's still something that just really sits. I mean, it makes me appreciate it and not take it for granted because man, not everybody can do that. And if
Right.
you are listening to little old me and wanting to hear my advice about something, that means I must be doing something right.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. This has been fun. We definitely would do it again.
I'm so glad. Like I said, y'all have an open invitation. Definitely have y'all back. Maybe promote one of your big cards. Anything y'all need.
March 21st, Fulton, Missouri, the Wide Invitational, CCE Gym, 6 o'clock.
There you go. Do y'all have any other shout outs or things y'all want to get out? This is your time.
So one thing real fast I wanted to say is we want to say one of our guys, El Diablo, is really excited for him is that he's getting ready to go. He's actually our heavyweight champion. Is that he's getting ready to tour Mexico. Like he's getting to go over to in April, flying out to Mexico. I know one of the companies was Millennial Lucha Libre, and like we're really excited for him. And
Mm-hmm.
like good job, Diablo, getting out of the country. Like we're really stoked for him.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Guys, again, thank y'all so very much.
No, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Guys, girls, thank you for joining me around the campfire, having another amazing conversation. Again, as fans, I think we take for granted how much hard work and dedication that promoters put in for our enjoyment. Uh, And what I feel like, man, make sure if you get a chance to tell a promoter thank you, do that. You would not realize on how much that means to them. I mean, everybody loves to get praise, so it doesn't take no time to be nice. So do that. And also, as I always end, I'm not going to stop saying this because it's true to my heart. Please, please, please support your local indie wrestling. There are too many great promotions out there that do not get the love and support that they need, and it is something. I will tell you this: when you go to an indie show, it's different than WWE, AEW, all the bigger companies. And I'm not saying that's good. I'm not saying it's bad. What I'm saying is an experience that you will definitely remember. And if you're taking your family, I promise you it's a memory that is going to last a lifetime with your family. So please support local wrestling companies. And last but not least, when you go to a indie promotion with money, you actually can come out of it with money. It's an amazing thing that they actually want a price where you and your whole family can have a great time. It's a crazy concept. I wish WWE would get that way.
Right.
PKO can kiss my ass. Oh, did I say that out loud? I'm sorry. But no defense. I mean, hey, love WWE, but TKO. If I go old school with you. If I was standing in front of y'all, I would take my belt off and. But anyway, with all that being said, thank you for joining me. I am Professor Bear. This has been the Bear's Thought, and we'll see you around the campfire again really, really soon. Y'all take care.